My name is Kevin Rowell, and I am Program Director for Kleiwerks International. I'm also owner of the Natural Builders, a California licensed contracting company. And for a little over 10 years now, I've worked in the area of ecological building or natural building. Natural building is a movement that is focused on empowering people around technology that is readily available to them, whether it's the soil from their site or the bamboo that grows in their backyard or just down the road. We've spent the past several months working with different community groups in rural and urban areas, working with architectural organizations and with the government of Haiti. And the focus of our work has been really trying to understand what their situation has been for the past 15, 20 years around buildings and building methodologies, codes, standards, and manufacturing processes to really get like a broad scope, to get a broad image of where it stands now. The brunt of our work going forward, in collaboration with the United Nations Habitat Program and other large and small NGOs, is to contribute to and help lead a cutting-edge dialogue around how to take indigenous, rural, and natural building technologies and elevate them for people. One of the biggest things that I've seen over the years personally is the relegation of people's natural ways of building, their local ways of building, to a lower class, and elevating the imported ways of developed countries. It creates a pretty big class divide. So I think a lot of the work that we do there is about mitigating the experience of a class divide and creating an empowered community that has respect for itself, you know, and that feels like the tools are there for their continued growth and development. The strategy that will go in place in the next few months by mandate of the government of Haiti, in collaboration with multiple stakeholders from the international community and the national community of Haiti, will determine to a greater extent how incoming aid money affects the communities throughout Haiti.
And then the end result of that, what is the end result of that?
The end result that we can hope for is one where the average Haitian really has access to a newer level of personal development around their house, around where they get food from. What we see typically in development work and in internationally funded situations is money distribution happens, it pours in the top, and there is a massive distribution at the top that has a very slow trickle-down time to the rest of the community. And it's usually distributed through commerce rather than through direct funding for communities. What we're advocating is really looking at building the base of Haiti up to a newer level and not relying just on economic inputs, you know, creating dependency cycles, but actually cultivating a culture around self-empowerment and community empowerment to allow them to create for themselves and to endorse that creation. My experience of working with youth especially, but also adults, and helping them to understand buildings and how they can be a part of buildings, whether it's doing a workshop on cob construction and getting there with youth and, you know, digging soil from a site, and they go, oh wow, this can actually be something. I can make this with my hands, and going through the process with them around that. That's kind of like what I call the entry level for me. Like that's what got me in. Where we're at now is, after years of doing this work, I can see the ramifications very clearly of starting with that level and getting to the point where those people themselves are not only excited, they're excited and they feel empowered to continue doing that work. So training people and evolving their own understanding of natural building and sustainable systems. It goes on in perpetuity. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Not only do you teach them about the building technology, but they themselves often become inspired to go on and continue exploring that with people. So we end up, through effect, cultivating really amazing leaders in the ecological movement. And to empower and create powerful leaders within an ecological movement in a developing country, it's huge. It's huge, and it has ramifications that spread throughout space and time. You know, it shifts the paradigm. Haiti has the potential to leapfrog the rest of the developed world in terms of sustainable development because the systems that are already in place are closer to sustainability. And the ability to step those up a little, it's like we've already learned all the mistakes in the developed world. We did a training a few weeks ago in collaboration with a Haitian youth group around permaculture. And these 4 youth from this program went with us to an orphanage site. And there are 95 young children who live, you know, in this community. The 4 youth are in their 20s, and they engaged these 95 younger kids in tree planting, you know, and looking at garden layouts. And they went through a collaborative design process with them. And the result of the project was that we, you know, planted 50 fruit trees, and we created a 400 square foot garden with vegetables that will help sustain the orphanage. But the true result of that project was that the children had a connection to mentors who were validating a way that those youth can provide for themselves in the future. And this is a program that Kleiwerks has developed with its partners to do just that. It has a short-term effect that's real, and it has long-term implications through the development of people. Imagine that you could put your finger on a button, and as you push the button, the entire world changes. That the leverage of pushing that little button would move the entire universe towards sustainability. You have that right now. Please support our work. Kleiwerks International uses dirt to build community.